That's right.
Which is, if the motive is not right, it becomes a Saul ministry. And you become susceptible to that system. So it becomes systemic control. And before you know it, you come to a church that's like this, where you have opportunity to grow and prosper and put your hand to the plow. Come on now, that you can build something that's conducive in the earth, that you have room to grow, and you can expand and enlarge yourself. Amen. Without restraint, which the kingdom is based that way. Well, let me hurry up because I'm full tonight. Look at this. It says here. So once Samuel was getting old and he had some sons that was, in the first 5 verses, that were just jacked up. They didn't follow after God. You know, they didn't just get the script. They didn't understand that Samuel was a prophet and they had a prophetic posterity, and they didn't want to follow in the steps of the father, which is preaching a whole other message. I mean, let me move to 6. It said, but the thing displeased Samuel when they said, give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Lord. 1 Samuel 8. And the Lord, 1 Samuel 8, my fault, 6 and 7. And said, and the Lord said unto Samuel, hearken unto the voice of the people and all that they say to thee. For they have not rejected thee, but they rejected me, that I should not reign over them. I mean, all that rich history. Didn't need a man over them. But they wanted to be like everybody else. They wanted Rim to be like the other churches. Why we don't have auxiliaries? Why we don't have certain aspects of the system in place? Okay. According to all the works which they have done since the day I brought them out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods. That's the problem. It was the idols that was in them that made them want to be like somebody else. Unaddressed issues will cause you to revert back to old systems. Unaddressed issues will cause you to revert back to old systems or old patterns. Right? Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them. He said, don't be loud about it, but you can just you can vouch for me, but just don't be, real heavy-handed with it, right? And show them the manner of the king that should reign over them. And Samuel told all the words of the Lord unto the people that asked him. And he said, this will be the manner of the king that should reign over you. He would take your sons and appoint them for himself with chariots, horsemen, chariots, before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands, captains over 50s, and will set them to ear his ground and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. And he would take your daughters to be perfumers and to be cooks and to be bakers. And he will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards and the best of them and give them to his servants. And he will take the tenth of your seed and of your vineyards and give to his officers and to his servants. He would take your maid servants and your men servants, maid servants, and your goodliest or the choicest young men, your donkeys. I just say it like that, and put them to his work. He would take. He would take the tenth of your sheep, which is basically a tithe, and you should be his servant, and you should cry out in that day because of your king, which you have chosen you, and the Lord will not hear you in that day. Nevertheless, people said they refuse his voice. No, but we still want a king. Now he gonna take everything from us. See, that's how you know that there's an order that is sufficient for you to flow and function in complete peace and harmony, because you have a leadership that won't take from you.
Come on. Amen.
Selfish.
Yes.
Everything was his. Then you get little people like me that just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. That I have no divested interest to magnify myself. I choose to let the Lord do it. I humble myself under his mighty hand. He'll exalt me in due time. I don't need your exaltation. All I need is your approval.
Amen.
That's not, for your approval is not exaltation and pride.
That's right. Come on. All right.
I heard a man of God say a long time ago, if you're worried about pride, just came to me too, just recently. He made a statement. He was an old gentleman. He said, "It's okay to taste success, just don't swallow it."
All right.
Because if you swallow it, you're gonna be full of yourself. Right? It's okay to recognize the fruit of your hands, but don't worship it.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I see. That comes from me. It's okay to recognize that God has done a great thing, but don't be like the fool over in Luke 12. He said, he want to build a barn to himself. And he said, "Thou fool, your soul gonna be required of you." So I'm not building a barns to magnify my name. I'm building something in the earth to glorify God. My intent from day one hasn't wavered. I remain the same today as I did then. It's never been about me. It's always been about Him. My central message is that Jesus Christ is Lord. Not only Lord over the ministry, but He's Lord over your life. He's first in everything. We try to figure out how to make Him first. Is He first? Is God first? Then the church? Then my family? Why are we going through all that? Just make Him first in the church. Make Him first in your family. Make Him first in your marriage. Make Him first on your finances.
Come on.
Then He's first. All right? Swallowing camels and straining nets. Trying to figure out how it's going to flow. It's not hard, folks. It's only hard for the transgressor. There need to be a level of fluidity in this house. There should be a fluidity. You know when I say fluidity, it shouldn't be rigid. It should be just flow. Like everything should flow in rhythm. It shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be stop it and miss it. Shouldn't be every 3 years we got to repent. I don't know where I went wrong. You know where you went wrong. You went wrong because your decisions were off.
Right.
Everybody go off. I mean, you go off because of your decisions.
Yes.
You off. Most of us are off because of what we decided. I don't care if it's the couch. I don't care if it's your job. I don't care if it's whatever. It has become an idol and is vying for that precious space. That's it. Nothing else. Ain't no devil. Amen. Think about it. I have never heard a carpenter complain about his tools.
Wow. All right.
You figure that out next week. That's what we do. Complaining. We got tools to work with. We still complain. He ain't sitting there looking at the tool. Why won't you cut that wood? Oh, he's decided he's gonna go over and get a hammer to cut the wood. No, I ain't gonna cut the wood. But that's what we do. Right? We want to in nature violate stuff. And think about, nature is not on your side when you violate laws.
Come on.
You can't just say, I'm going to get up here on the top of this building and jump and say, I hope somebody will catch me. That's going to be concrete. That's going to be your only catching. But that's what we do. Because we don't like the order. We don't like the order and the arrangement. We don't like the whole cycle of preparation and process. We don't like that stuff. I must be in the wrong church. This is what God wants to get us to, where we understand and we accept the order that God is implementing to us, specifically when we understand the government and the authority that's been placed in direct correlation to who we are to be and who we are to become. Yeah, I know it didn't catch you, but it's the truth. We got to understand, you didn't get a leader that's want to beat you.
Amen.
I want to deliver you. Sometimes trying to deliver you, it seems like beating you.
Yeah.
So we need to know that God wants to bring us into order. It means arranging oneself under the command of a divine viewpoint rather than live according to one's old way of life based upon your human perspective.
Yes.
That's what it means. That's what that word means. That's my interpretation of that word tasso and taxes. It's another word called tasso. Come on, bring it up there. It's another word. This tasso is a military term. That's it. It comes from a root word tasso. Taxes, we just read, comes from tasso. It means to appoint, ordain, and order. So when I come in alignment, when I understand my assignment, when I know my appointment, then I'm ordained. Then I've been petitioned to my assignment. I've been authorized. The approval of God is on me to function at a certain capacity without reservation. You get what I'm saying? But I went through taxes, so now I'm tasso. So voluntary, it's a voluntary attitude. This was it said, look, in the Greek, of course, both of these terms are military terms, and it's really aimed to the army. They are a Greek military. They are both are Greek military terms, meaning to arrange in a military fashion under the commander of a leader. In a non-military use, it is a voluntary act of giving in. So when you say you're tassoing, I'm giving in. I need some folks to say, I'm tassoing.
I'm tassoing.
I'm tassoing. I'm tassoing in this ministry. I'm not tussling. I'm tassoing. I'm tassoing in this ministry. Why? Because I got a voluntary attitude of giving in. No muss. Here I am, Lord. Do what you want to do. It's a voluntary act. It's not a take like Saul. I'm not trying to take something from you. I'm trying to get you to offer your will for your mind. But see, that's the problem. If your mind, your will, and emotions hasn't understood its ability to get things done by submitting to the greater authority, which is what being worked out in your spirit, man, then we tassel and tussle. But we don't get tassel. Where you bring it to the apostle, you bring it to the leader. You say, God's been dealing with me secretly about how I can help the ministry. I want to offer it to you. I'm not sitting on a bump on a rock, on a log, trying to wait on you to discover what I got in me. And you